Hey, what's happening, kids? I'm Caleb. In this episode, we're gonna talk about yellow squash. The yellow squash just kind of looks like little spaceships, but are actually one of the oldest edible plants grown by man. Yellow squash is originated by the Americans and is one of the earliest plants grown by people in Mexico and North America, along with maize, corn, and beans. Remains of squash seeds, rind, and stems have been found in caves of Mexico and were dated to 8000 BC. The American colonists developed the word squash from several Native American terms meaning something eaten raw. And we also believe that squash was served at the first Thanksgiving. A little known fact about the yellow squash is that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson were horticulturists who grew many varieties of squash. In case that you were wondering what horticulturist is, it is a researcher who finds the best ways to efficiently grow, harvest, and store farm crops. Alright now, that's all you know about the origin of yellow squash, and it's time to give you a little more information about the unusual looking vegetable.
When you want to eat a yellow squash, be sure to choose the ones that are firm and fairly heavy for their size. Otherwise, they might be dry and cottony inside. Look for squash that have bright, glossy exteriors and do not buy them when they have nicks or bruises on their skins or soft spots. The entire squash is edible, including the seeds.
The most popular variety of squash is the zucchini, which you may have already heard about. Summer squashes are known to have lots of water in them, so when you prepare them, do not overcook them or they will turn to mush and they will lose their taste. Okay, now I'm curious about how nutritious squash is. Let's find out together.
Summer squash are generally divided into four groups: crookneck, zucchini, which can be green and yellow, straight neck, and scallop. They have thin, edible skins and soft seeds and are high in vitamins A and C and niacin. While not as rich as some of the more widely publicized antioxidants like beta-carotene, summer squash is a very strong source of another key antioxidant nutrients.
In case you may have forgotten what antioxidants are, they are micronutrients that are able to produce tissues in the body. They do this by blocking harmful chemical reactions that can cause you to become sick. Since the skin of this food is particularly antioxidant rich, it is worth leaving the skin intact.
Now let's go back to the Hunger Task Force farm in Franklin, Wisconsin to see how we can cut and prepare the squash before eating.
Hello, my name is Amanda Haar and I'm dietitian educator for Hunger Task Force. Now, I'm not the dietitian who tells you you can't eat your vegetables. I like to have fun with kids and eating their fruits and vegetables. But the first place we need to start is to have proper cutting skills, because if you don't know how to cut, you don't know how to cook. And then what are you going to eat? A whole bunch of packaged foods. So we like eating foods from the garden. You're at the Hunger Task Force farm, where we have an awesome kids garden where we grow lots of fruits and vegetables every year. So I'm going to take you through the process of how to properly cut your fruits and your vegetables. So of course we're going to start out with the first step, which is hand washing. So this is really important to wash your hands to make sure that whatever germs you have in your hands don't transfer to the people that you're going to serve your food to. So I like the whole theory of scrubbing your hands for the amount of time to sing happy birthday 3 times. So try it out, see how long it actually takes you. This will make sure that all the bacteria in your hands actually gets killed. And we're going to use some nice warm water. Not so hot that it burns you, but nice and warm. Now, if you are cooking for a whole bunch of people and you're cutting something that isn't going to be cooked, you might want to wear a pair of gloves. So this will just make sure that any germs on your hands actually don't get onto the food themselves. Now, we're actually cooking for a small group here, and we may be cooking our food, so I'm going to stay away from gloves for today. So let's go through the proper cutting method. This is a yellow zucchini squash, and this has already been washed, so we're in luck. We don't have to do that right now. So we're going to go through how to actually properly hold a knife. Now this is a pretty large knife. This is called a chef's knife. There's a lot of different types of knives out there. You might have a little bit smaller knife that you want to start out using, but I've been doing this for a while, so I'm going to start out with a chef's knife today. So the method that we're going to use is called the tip fulcrum method. So that just means that the tip of our knife is what we're going to be rocking off of. So when you cut down, you're going to be cutting in a rocking motion. And a nice French chef that taught me one day told me that I should just sit there and practice this rocking motion until I get really good at it. Then when you want to start slicing something, we're going to slice off the end, and we're going to use that same motion to slice all the way through the zucchini so we can make nice small slices. Now slicing things, dicing things, there's a lot of different cutting methods out there. I'm going to start out with slicing today. Now this yellow squash can be used for a lot of different things. If you wanted to keep it fresh, you could put it into salads. You could make a squash salad just by itself. If you wanted to, you could cut it into a little bit smaller things by stacking. This one's a little bit bendy. And then you can just cut through it and cut a lot of slices at once. I like to stack my food as much as possible because then you spend a lot less time cutting individual pieces just like that. So we're making half moons with the squash. Now I also love cooking my squash. Just sauteing a little bit of diced onions and garlic on a pot on the stove can add some nice flavor to the squash as you put it onto there. You can also bake it in a dish called ratatouille. So if you've ever seen the movie Ratatouille with a rat who likes ratatouille, ratatouille is actually awesome. And it includes a lot of different vegetables like squash and tomatoes and eggplant and onions. So there's a lot of different ways to use your squash, and that's how you cut.
Welcome back to the Retro Kitchen, and our four lovely taste testers are going to be testing for you the yellow squash that was made earlier.
You stole my piece. Shut up. Shut up.
So let's start over here. What did you think of it?
It was good.
It's crunchy and it kind of tastes like cucumbers.
It didn't really had that much seeds, but it was good.
It don't have no taste in it. But it was good.
Okay, there you have it, folks. That sums up our yellow squash. Tune in next time.